Hello and welcome to Asking for a Trend. I'm Josh Lipton, and for the next half hour, we are breaking down the trends of today that'll move stocks tomorrow. There's a lot to keep track of, so we're focusing on what you need to know to get ahead of the curve. Here's some of the trends we're going to be diving into. Wall Street going green Thursday. The Dow, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ jumping ahead of that make or break jobs report. At the end of the session, all major indices did end the day higher. And the National Football League teaming up with Abercrombie Fitch ahead of the football season. And we're going to be speaking with the clothing maker's CEO about what the collaboration means for business. And the money may be flowing big time as the NFL kicks off Thursday. We're taking a deep dive into sports betting and some of the best plays. Well, Broadcom reporting revenue and earnings for the third quarter that came in above estimates. While looking ahead, Broadcom providing better than expected guidance for fourth quarter revenue. Here with a closer look at Broadcom's latest quarterly results. Got Rosenblatt Securities Managing Director and Senior Research Analyst. That would be Kevin Cassidy. Kevin, it is great to see you. So let's look at these results. Broadcom, Kevin, it looks like the sales forecast for the current period, that looks good relative to expectations. They're looking for sales of about $17.4 billion, Kevin. The street, it looks like, was closer to around $17.05 billion. Just looking at the reaction, all right, we're not doing a whole lot in the after hours here. It looks like we're up about 0.3%. Of course, Kevin, heading into this print, this stock was up around 100% off the April low. What do you make of the print? What do you make of the results?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Thanks for having me on tonight. And yeah, Broadcom, they came in, they beat the numbers just by enough. We saw last week, NVIDIA also had a great run coming into the quarter. They were up about 30% since they reported last, and their valuation was somewhere around 34 times. And it's about what Broadcom has done also. They're at about 35 times forward earnings. So we think this beat is good enough. Maybe Marvell and NVIDIA kind of paved the way for Broadcom, set expectations maybe a bit lower, that they're not going to have a blowout. But we think it's good enough to keep the stock moving forward from here.
Kevin,
maybe after hours there might be some profit taking.
It looked like they're calling for Q4 AI semiconductor revenue. It looks like, Kevin, they're calling for $6.2 billion. Your colleagues on the street there, it looks like consensus was more like $5.82 billion. That AI business, Kevin, for CEO Hock Tan, how do you see it evolving from here in the quarters ahead? What kind of growth rates would you be looking for?
Yeah, so it's about 60% growth for them. They have two products. One, the custom ASICs, and these are products that say Google would use to do a processing or acceleration of their training and even inference models. And then where Broadcom's always been very strong is in Ethernet networking. So besides having all the processors, you need to network them together to make them work as one great big processor. And that's really a strength. So we'll hear on the call exactly how it gets split out, whether it's networking or the processing side. But my guess is that they go hand in hand, so both are probably doing pretty well.
In that market for custom chips, Kevin, they do have competition. There are rivals. Does Broadcom bring certain competitive advantages to that market?
Yes, Broadcom's been doing this for a long time, ASICs. So they have the full stack, as they say. So you can go to them and get a turnkey. You don't have to rely on anyone else. You can get everything from them to make your custom ASIC. And then that reduces your cost compared to buying a GPU from, say, NVIDIA or AMD.
We're all very focused on AI, Kevin, of course. What about that non-AI semiconductor business? How do you see that evolving?
Yeah, so that's starting to come back. This is Wi-Fi and businesses that they've had in for a long time. And of course, VMware is now fully integrated with the company. So that's a benefit for the company too. So yeah, their non-AI businesses coming back. It's similar to what we're seeing in the industrial market, maybe even handsets and PCs all slowly coming back.
When we talk about Broadcom, we talk chips, but we know Hock Tan has pivoted this company aggressively into software too, Kevin. So I'm curious, the software business, what kind of growth and margins should investors expect looking ahead?
Well, with the software, especially VMware, that's very high margin. That's closer to 90%, which is why they can have a combined gross margin of over 75%. One of the best in semiconductors, and that grows a steady 20% or so is what we have in our model.
What is Broadcom's exposure to China like? How does it compare and contrast with others like an NVIDIA, for example?
Well, Broadcom has probably 75% market share in Wi-Fi chips, so that would be included in China. But maybe when it comes to these ASIC chips, the AI co-processors, ByteDance is one of their customers, as far as we know. And they also announced that they've got 4 others in the works, and they could be Chinese also. So we're expect to hear a little more about that on the earnings call again, of who their next 4 ASIC customers may be.
Kevin, I'll get you out of this. I had a buddy of mine text me recently. He was putting together, he said, this AI theme portfolio, right? And it had a lot of names. I don't think it would surprise you, Kevin. It didn't, though, have Broadcom. And I'm just wondering, would you argue that's kind of a mistake? That if you're an investor, a long-term investor, if you're betting on that AI megatrend, is Broadcom a must-own?
I think it is. The network is going to be the processor, or we've even heard NVIDIA talk about it, and that's kind of the new battleground. Is NVIDIA bought Mellanox to get the networking capabilities. So NVIDIA now has their own networking solutions, but Broadcom has been the leader in the Ethernet market for years. And now what you're trying to do is connect all these different GPUs together to act as one big GPU, and that's where you need the network.
Kevin, great to see you and to have you on the show. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good to see you again, Josh. Thank you.
Coming up, the NFL kicks off football season a bit more fashion forward thanks to Abercrombie and Fitch. We're talking with the apparel company's CEO. Stick with us. Stay with us. Much more Ask for a Trend still to come. Fashion-forward start to football season just ahead of the NFL's 2025 kickoff. Abercrombie & Fitch announces that the brand is an official fashion partner. That's a first for the league. Executive editor Brian Sozzi sat down with A&F's CEO Fran Horowitz about that deal.
Super exciting announcement that we made last week. The first official fashion partner for the NFL, a first for us and a first for them. An opportunity, honestly, Brian, for 2 iconic global brands to come together. Their fandom and our consumer are very in sync. We stay very close to our customer, keep them right at the center of everything that we do. And several years ago, they told us how important it was for them to attend sporting events, to watch all sports, but particularly they love the NFL. And so we started a very authentic relationship about 3 or 4 years ago, just with 5 teams. We had terrific success. We now carry all 32 teams. We started in men's. We've now added women's. We've added kids. We've added pets. So it's grown incredibly. So the next step was to form this partnership and become an official fashion partner for the NFL.
Am I wrong to think this is partly a social media play as well? You have led the way in the mall with social media marketing, driving a lot of buzz and excitement around the products and the assortments you've dropped. And is this another way to get into that crowd?
100%. This takes us from being a licensed partnership to a true marketing partnership. The opportunity for brand awareness, the opportunity to be as you say, fairly aggressive on our social channels. We actually can now participate on NFL.com and the NFL channels. So that's another big opportunity for us to be able to bring a lot of brand awareness and bring in some new customers to the brand who may not have thought of us so far.
How did you select the players that you did?
We have a lot of player love. Trust me, it was not an easy decision because there's many players that we'd love to partner with. We've picked several that have just been super excited about the brand for many years. Again, we like to go with authentic, genuine participation from the players. We've also got the wives and the girlfriends that have worked with us for the past few years, and so you'll be seeing some of that coming up as well. I don't know if you know, but almost 50% of the NFL fandom is female, so this is an opportunity to hit men and women consumers as well.
I've talked to you for many years, Fran. I think I can touch this rail, so hang with me. One of your competitors had an earnings call today. It was an American Eagle. they're in the same malls as you. In some cases, they're across the way from you. Whatever the case is, they said they are gaining traffic because of their new partnership with Travis Kelce. I mean, were you in the bidding for Travis Kelce? I mean, was this something you just lost out to American Eagle? Did you want to get involved with him? Like, what has gone on here?
What we have is the first official partnership, fashion partnership with the NFL, which is pretty incredible. And again, across many players, many wives, many girlfriends. We also signed a deal last week directly with the Dallas Cowboys. That's going to open up some terrific opportunities, both at the Star as well as AT&T Stadium, to be able to sell product within their shops, as well as some activations and some events this year. So we've got a lot of exciting opportunities ahead this season. So stay tuned.
Are you surprised that of the we've been doing retail for a while, Fran. I mean, the popularity of these Star platforms, and not only what I just mentioned with your competitor, but I was talking to a PVH. They have an underwear campaign with Bad Bunny, and they saw sales of men's underwear up double digits. Like, why do these celebrity partnerships still work?
Well, I think it's actually interesting that it's shifted a bit. It's really about sports and fashion coming together in our culture. I mean, these are big moments where the fandom is just so excited to follow their teams and follow their players. That it's become just very much part of the culture. And we're so excited to be at the intersection of all of that.
There was a big turn in your business in the most recent quarter, the Hollister business. Now, you've told me this repeatedly, Brian, it's about to turn. It's about to turn. You had a very big quarter in Hollister. Why has that business now moved what looks to be beyond an inflection point?
So that consumer and our team are just completely connected. It's so exciting to see the team just dialed into that consumer. We have actually had several quarters of success over the past year and a half. But yes, Hollister had knocked it out of the park for the first half of the year, 19% growth on 19% last year. It's being close to your customer, Brian. It's that product, voice, and experience coming together. They've been doing several collections that the consumers actually asked us for, things like going back to our heritage. We did a Y2K relaunch for back to school as one of our drops that the consumer loved. We did something for homecoming that really resonated with their lifestyle. So there's lots of reasons for the consumer to come and shop with us. We are really staying close to them and really understanding what matters.
Lastly, Fred, retailers in the second quarter, it was still a challenging backdrop for many companies. They didn't really get hit with the tariff, but a lot of folks I talk to now in the industry are saying now we're at that point where retailers are going to have to raise prices for back to school if the stuff is already in the stores, but most certainly for the holiday season to offset the cost pressures they're seeing in the business. Have you had to take those actions as you have planned your holiday assortment?
So we have publicly said, no, we haven't. We are not intending to take broad-based ticket pricing in the back half of this year. Our goal is really to offer our consumer the best value for the product and the fashion that we can and quality that we can put out there. We have managed over the last several years, Brian, lots and lots of challenges. We have a very resilient playbook. We're putting that to use. We've got a few levers to pull. The last one, frankly, that we want to pull is pricing. We really want to stay close and appreciate our consumer and give them what they want.
What's your favorite NFL team?
I am a Giants fan, as is my family.
They're just not doing good, Fran.
I love all 32 teams, Brian. I've had business to do with all 32 teams. But
fine,
yes, on Sunday.
But you lean
on Sunday. I will be
lean towards the Giants. They need to win. Like, as someone sitting in here in New York, the Jets are just awful. We'll take it offline. I had to ask you that. We got to ask these tough questions here at Yahoo Finance. Fran Horowitz, Abercrombie Fitch CEO, talk about this new NFL deal. Really appreciate your time as always. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
Stick around. Much more Ask for a Trend still to come. The NFL season kicking off on Thursday, and prime market share up for grabs in the sports betting arena. Join me now. We got Matt King, CEO of Fanatics Betting and Gaming. Matt, it is great to see you, especially on set. So I was talking, Matt, to an analyst who's covered your sector, your industry for a long time, and he had nice things to say. He said, he suggests he's impressed by Matt. He said, Matt's...
I pay the analyst well.
This is what I assume.
Yeah.
But he said, Matt has taken share from my big rivals. So I wanted to start there and just learn more, Matt, about, what has been your game plan? What has been your strategy?
So pretty simple, actually. When we started Fanatics Betting and Gaming, the view was very clear. Fanatics is a great brand. It has the potential to be an iconic sports brand. It's a brand that sports fans know and trust already, and so we have great kind of brand equity built in there. 2, we thought we could build a great product. We knew it would take a long time. Frankly, it took a little longer than we thought. But ultimately, we could assemble a team that could build a great product, a great sports betting and iGaming product for people. And then the third and the secret sauce is the kind of customer proposition we can deliver as part of Fanatics, we think is the best in the industry. That's things like fan cash and the fact that you can earn up to 10% back in every bet that you make.
Which you can then spend on Fanatics.
Which you can spend it on merch, you can spend it on collectibles, you can make more bets with it, and you can buy tickets now. So we actually have a deal with Ticketmaster where you can use fan cash to buy any sports.
Would you consider fan cash a key differentiator?
Absolutely. And consumers love it, right? Once they, awareness we're working on, a lot of sports fans know about it, not everyone. My job in life is to make sure every single sports fan knows about fan cash. Because once people know about it, they love it.
Right.
So there's stuff like that. There's also stuff that's specific to sports betting. So things like we launched Fair Play, which
player gets injured early, right?
Player gets injured. So we started with the first quarter. Consumers loved it. It's been copied. So now both our 2 largest rivals, shall we say, have copied it. We still think what we offer is better, and we've even expanded it to the first half for NFL games. And so that's, again, something that customers love. And then we launched a loyalty program called Fanatics One, which is really the only loyalty program that rewards not just your gambling, but also it rewards your merch purchases, your collectibles purchases, and really unlocks the world of Fanatics for our users. And so, again, we think we can do things that nobody else can do in sports, and frankly, the customers are agreeing with us.
When you talk about your customer, Matt, who is the typical Fanatics customer? What's the demo, and has it been evolving at all? So
Fanatics as a brand obviously serves all sports fans, and that's the powerful part about it. It is effectively an Amazon-like brand where every sports fan knows it, every sports fan trusts it, and there's a lot of brand equity built into that. So in that sense, we have permission to serve kind of every fan. Generally, our kind of demographic is, it skews male. It's probably 25 to 45. And really, like, the kind of common emotional thread is it's people that want something more out of their betting experience. They want a more engaging experience. They also want more rewards, right? Sports betting as an industry is very promotionally driven, right? One of the analogies I always use with people is it's a lot like the credit card industry in the sense of most of the large brands in sports betting are all about the promo offer. It's the upfront, like, here's your balance transfer offer. It's very transactional. And what we've done is really flip the paradigm where we provide very competitive promotions, but what we also do is provide rewards that are unmatched. And so what people know is that over time, the more you do with us, the more access you're going to have. You're going to get the personalized merch. When we do Fanatics Fest in New York, if you're a loyal customer of ours, you're going to get an amazing experience with kind of once in a lifetime meet and greets. And so again, the types of things that we can do for those customers that move their business to us demonstrates our difference.
I talk to analysts, they say, listen, Fanatics, they do spend a lot, they say. Spend a lot on marketing. As you know, they said they're very promotional. Is that level of spend, Matt, is that sustainable?
So yes is the short answer. If you look at our numbers, when we benchmark our unit economics, they're as good as anybody else's, even the big brands in the industry. So the core kind of fundamentals of the business are absolutely where we want them to be. If you look at our regulatory reports, we do have elevated promotional spend that's really driven by the fact that we're acquiring so many new customers relative to the size of our installed base. So it's really like the rapid pace of growth that's driving kind of above expectation kind of promotional generosity. And also, candidly, like, we have a very simple philosophy. We actually spend very little on marketing relative to brands, even kind of brands of our similar size. And our rubric is very, very simple, which is before I spend $1 in marketing, I always ask the team, is this $1 better spent by going directly back to the customer? And whether that's in the form of promotions, more fan cash or other things, we'd always rather have dollars in the hands of our customers and fewer commercials out there. And that's the way we built the business.
NFL is back. What's going to be new this year for your customers?
So extension of Fair Play to first half. is one. We actually have a really cool feature now where you can bet directly with Fan Cash. You used to have to convert it to a bonus bet. So early feedback on that has been phenomenal. It's just a super easy user experience. Fanatics One is our loyalty program. That was just launched in the last couple months. And really what that does is it takes this kind of amazing set of things that we can do as Fanatics and helps consumers understand, if I do X, this is what I can get. And so that's things like, athlete meet and greets, meeting icons like Tom Brady or others. That's unique experiences, that's personalized merch and things like that. Really anything a sports fan wants.
Matt, great to see you.
Good to see you.
Especially on set. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
That is a wrap on today's Ask for a Trend. Be sure to come back tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern for all of the latest market moving stories affecting your world. Have a great night.